Adrien Broner was once hailed as boxing's next superstar, blending elite skills with a charismatic flair that drew comparisons to icons like Mayweather. Rising from a tough Cincinnati background, he found refuge in the boxing gym and ascended quickly, capturing world titles across 4 weight divisions. As his reputation grew, so did his larger-than-life persona. Flashy entrances, bold trash talk, and a lifestyle of excess that captivated fans and critics alike. His undeniable talent made him a household name, dazzling spectators with quick reflexes and relentless knockout power, which was truly mesmerizing. Yet behind the glitz and glam, the very traits that fueled his ascendance began to erode his standing in the sport. The turning point emerged during the brutal fight with Marcos Maidana, where his previously untouchable defense crumbled under relentless pressure, exposing vulnerabilities that had long been hidden. This shocking outcome dramatically shifted the public's perception and left many questioning whether he had the necessary grit to reclaim his former glory. Off the ring, too, the warning signs multiplied rapidly. Reckless spending, legal troubles, missed weigh-ins, and a public persona marked by repeated meltdowns began to signify a fighter losing control of both his career and life. Relationships with promoters and even mentors like Mayweather fractured. This left him increasingly isolated, as the once rising star now stood alone against the challenges that were piling up. Beneath the glitter and bravado, Broner's inner demons, ranging from depression to substance abuse, took a heavy toll on his life. Now, at a critical intersection in his journey, the question remains whether Adrien Broner can reconstruct his legacy or face the reality of fading into obscurity. The Meteoric Rise. Adrien Broner emerged from the tough streets of Cincinnati, a place that shaped his fighting spirit and determination. He found his sanctuary in the boxing gym, honing his skills from a young age. With blazing speed, power, and undeniable charisma, he turned professional in 2008, instantly capturing attention. His unique combination of talent and swagger drew comparisons to the legendary Floyd Mayweather, elevating expectations to incredible heights. As he climbed the ranks, Broner quickly became a household name, dazzling fans with his electrifying style and trash-talking bravado that resonated deeply in the boxing community. In just a few short years, he claimed world titles across 4 weight divisions, showcasing his ability to dominate opponents regardless of their size. His flashy entrances, confident demeanor, and penchant for showmanship captivated audiences, allowing him to create a persona that was as much about entertainment as it was about boxing. With every victory, the buzz grew louder that he could carry the sport forward, especially after Mayweather's eventual retirement. Broner not only embodied the rise of a future superstar, but he also demonstrated the power of a fighter who, against the odds, transformed raw talent into historic accomplishments, establishing himself as a force to be reckoned with in the boxing world. His journey seemed destined for greatness, as fans watched eagerly, cheering him on as he prepared to etch his name alongside the legends of the sport. But lurking beneath that success would soon be a tumultuous battle that would change everything. Flamboyance and Excess. Adrien Broner, undeniably, captivated audiences with his flamboyance, and his over-the-top persona quickly became a defining characteristic of his career. From dazzling entrances that caught the eye of fans to an extravagant lifestyle that made headlines, Broner embraced every aspect of being a superstar. His social media was filled with images of luxury cars, stacks of cash, and wild nights out, turning him into a viral sensation. This lavish display of wealth, however, was just as much a double-edged sword. While it entertained fans and provided him with an edge in the sport, it also raised eyebrows and concerns about his dedication to boxing. Many wondered if this life of excess would come at a cost, as Broner seemed more focused on his image than on the craft he once revered. At times, his behavior sparked controversy, with reckless statements in interviews and public altercations drawing criticism from both fans and critics alike. The once determined fighter began to embody a lifestyle more suited for a celebrity than for a disciplined athlete. As the winds piled high, so did Broner's ego, leading him to believe that he could continue his brash, unyielding ways without consequence. Yet, as fans cheered and critics grumbled, Adrien's world became increasingly precarious. The reality began to set in. His flashy persona may have blinded him to the vulnerabilities of the boxing world, and the luxury he indulged in could ultimately lead to his downfall. As his story unfolded, the line between ambition and recklessness blurred, leaving supporters to wonder if his journey would culminate in redemption or ruin. The turning point. The fight against Marcos Maidana marked a pivotal moment in Adrien Broner's career, forever changing the trajectory of his boxing journey. From the very first bell, it was apparent that Maidana, a relentless power puncher from Argentina, was not intimidated by Broner's flashy reputation. As the rounds progressed, Maidana's aggression overpowered Broner's once formidable defense as he pressed forward, landing punishing shots that Broner struggled to counter. This was the beginning of the end for the undefeated fighter. Fans had grown accustomed to seeing Broner dominate his opponents with speed and finesse, relying on his quick reflexes to evade danger. However, Maidana's relentless assault exposed weaknesses that had previously been masked by Broner's earlier triumphs. The once cocky demeanor Broner exhibited began to wane, replaced by desperation as he found himself knocked down in the second round. This moment was shocking, not just for Broner, but for the entire boxing community, many whom thought he was untouchable. Round after round, the punishment continued, with Maidana's unyielding attack wearing Broner down until he finally succumbed to a crushing unanimous decision defeat. This loss shattered the illusion of invincibility he had built and prompted questions regarding his status as an elite fighter. The aftermath of this fight led to a profound shift in Broner's confidence and public perception. No longer seen as the heir to Mayweather's legacy, Broner faced the reality of his vulnerability. It was a moment that foreshadowed a troubling path laden with challenges, self-doubt, and his eventual decline within the sport. Downfall outside the ring. While Adrien Broner dazzled fans with his skills in the boxing ring, his life outside of it quickly spiraled into chaos. Once celebrated for his flashy persona, he became infamous for his reckless decisions and public controversies. Legal troubles began to pile up, with Broner facing multiple lawsuits and arrests for various incidents, ranging from assault charges to reckless driving. These repeated run-ins with the law tarnished his image, and as time went on, they overshadowed his athletic accomplishments. Financially, Broner was living a lifestyle far beyond his means, spending lavishly on luxury cars, jewelry, and wild nights out, believing that money would flow endlessly. However, as losses began to accumulate within the ring, his financial situation deteriorated. He faced fines for missed weigh-ins and could no longer secure big fight contracts that were once commonplace in his career. His extravagant spending left him financially vulnerable, and many began to question his reliability as a fighter. His once promising reputation quickly waned. As Broner's financial woes increased, so did his erratic behavior. Public meltdowns became commonplace, often fueled by his struggles with alcoholism and depression. Disturbingly, fans began to witness a stark transformation. The charismatic showman they once adored was now a shadow of his former self, struggling to regain control of his life. The boxing community, which had once rallied behind him, began distancing itself. His relationships with promoters and even mentors deteriorated as they grew weary of his unpredictable behavior and lack of professionalism. Ultimately, Broner's downfall was not just a story of lost fights, but also a tragic narrative of how quickly success can fade when discipline and accountability are cast aside. Crumbling legacy and isolation. As Adrien Broner's career began to spiral downward, his once mighty legacy started to crumble, leaving behind shadows of his former glory. Once celebrated as boxing's potential heir apparent, he now found himself isolated from the very world that once embraced him. The turning point came when he lost to Marcos Maidana, a fight that exposed his weaknesses and shattered the illusion of invincibility. This defeat marked the beginning of what many saw as a tragic downfall, both in and out of the ring. With each subsequent loss, Broner's confidence waned, and he became the subject of scrutiny, with fans and pundits questioning his dedication, both to the sport and himself. As legal troubles mounted and reckless behavior overshadowed his talent, he faced increasing isolation from promoters and supporters alike. Relationships that had flourished during his ascent began to wither, as key figures, including former mentor Floyd Mayweather, distanced themselves from the troubled fighter. The flashy persona that once defined Broner was now a mere echo, replaced by a stark reality of missed opportunities and declining relevance in the boxing world. Isolation deepened as his mental health struggles became more prominent, leading to alarming behavior that further alienated him from fans and friends. Social media became a platform for his vulnerabilities, with cryptic posts that hinted at the internal battles he faced, signaling a call for help that seemed largely ignored. Ultimately, Broner's crumbling legacy serves as a stark reminder of how quickly fame can dissolve, leaving behind a once promising talent, now fighting against the relentless tide of obscurity, mental and financial turmoil. As Adrien Broner's boxing career progressed, his life outside the ring began to spiral out of control. The glitz and glamour of his early success masked deeper issues that only grew more alarming with time. The financial rewards from his bouts were immense, yet Broner's reckless spending habits quickly drained his wealth. He flaunted his riches on social media, often showcasing lavish purchases and extravagant nights out, forgetting the fundamental principle of financial stability. This reckless lifestyle led to mounting debts that overshadowed his accomplishments inside the ring. Meanwhile, his mental health began to deteriorate. What started as a series of cryptic social media posts turned into a public outcry filled with distressing admissions of depression and anxiety. Fans, once enamored by his bravado, grew concerned as he exhibited increasingly erratic behavior. Legal troubles compounded his issues, with a string of arrests for incidents ranging from reckless driving to allegations of assault. Each arrest painted Broner in a negative light, leading to further scrutiny from the media and impacting his image. His mental state, coupled with his financial woes, created a vicious cycle, pushing him into deeper despair. Every missed fight opportunity and every negative headline eroded public confidence in him. As Broner faced the consequences of his actions, it became increasingly clear that he was not just battling opponents in the ring. He was wrestling with his own demons, trying to reclaim stability amidst chaos. The challenge ahead was monumental. Could he rise from the ashes, confront his past decisions, and find redemption before it was too late? The uncertainty loomed large as the boxing world watched. Hope for redemption. Despite the many challenges that Adrien Broner has faced, there remains a glimmer of hope for his redemption. At just 35 years old, he is still young enough to redefine his career and reclaim his place in the boxing world. If Broner can successfully commit to his craft and focus on rigorous training, while surrounding himself with a supportive team, the path to revival may still be within reach. Fans and analysts alike believe that if he can channel the same drive he exhibited in his early career, there is potential for a remarkable comeback. Yet, time is of the essence. Boxing is a sport that does not wait for anyone, and if he hesitates, the window of opportunity may close forever. To reignite his career, Broner would need to demonstrate more than just raw talent. He must exhibit discipline, humility, and accountability. This means committing to a strong work ethic and being open to change, which has eluded him in recent years. He must prove to promoters, fans, and himself that he is serious about making a turnaround. Acknowledging past mistakes and learning from them will be crucial in his journey. As he stands at this pivotal crossroads, the question lingers: does he still possess the fire that once made him a champion, or has he become a shadow of his former self? The boxing world is watching closely, and Adrien Broner's next steps could determine whether his legacy is one of glory or regret. Broner's journey is a gripping narrative, marked by triumph, excess, and an ultimately tragic decline. From the heights of boxing stardom, where he was once celebrated as a future Hall of Famer, to the depths of personal and professional ruin, his story offers both lessons and warnings. The boxing world has always been unforgiving, and for Broner, the price of his reckless lifestyle has been steep. His charisma and skill in the ring dazzled fans. Yet, behind the colorful persona lay deep-seated issues that pushed him towards self-destruction. Legal battles, financial woes, and public meltdowns overshadowed his once bright career, leaving him to grapple with the reality of missed opportunities. In the shadow of past achievements, Broner faces a crucial turning point, where the path forward is fraught with challenges. Can he reclaim the discipline and focus necessary to revive his career? Or will he fade further into obscurity? At just 35, there's still time for redemption, yet the window is closing rapidly. In the end, Broner's legacy will likely serve as a cautionary tale for future generations, a reminder that talent, however extraordinary, must be coupled with responsibility, discipline, and wisdom in order to achieve lasting success in the ring and in life.